Good evening, everybody. Sorry for this delay. We ended last session on this question. Move to the next one. Which option will replace the question mark, which is provided below? Here the sequence that is going, one second. Yeah. Here the sequence which is happening is it keeps on rotating in a clockwise direction. Okay. So, yeah. So in the first one, sorry, the first observation is the grid. So if you observe this grid very carefully, it is actually continuous. It goes through and through. Okay. So what it means is whichever block or whichever tile which will come in the place of question mark needs to have a vertical going through and through it. Further, if you observe the tile, the last row, I'm not looking at the whole thing, but this is about the grid. Besides the grid, if you just observe the last part, the last row, this one, very carefully, I'm just going to erase the lines for now, okay? Yeah. If you just observe the last row very carefully, what you will notice is it is actually rotating clockwise. So this is slightly tilted clockwise. This is further slightly tilted, and then this from this position it has to further tilt. Now, if you all look at the last position here, it is similar to the tile which is shown here. So B will be not possible. From this position, if I go for A, it is actually from the last position, it is actually moving in anti-clockwise. If I rotate it anti-clockwise, then I get an orientation of the tile similar to A. So A is also not possible. Between C and D, C is it's not a slight angular rotation, but it's a drastic rotation. Almost 70-degree rotation is happening in C versus D. So I will not choose C because it's a very drastic orientation. After this position, this C might come after this tile, which is given in D. But it cannot follow up because if you compare the first tile, the second tile, and the third tile, there's a very little rotation happening. The C won't be chosen and D will be the correct answer. Any doubts, any questions here? Okay. How many triangles? Okay, I've given this answer here, but okay. How many times is the area of the innermost triangle compared to the area of the outermost triangle? So in this case, all I did was trace the triangle trajectory. And when I extended the lines of the innermost triangle outside and drew further more parallel and perpendicular, of course, lines to it, we get a diagram similar to this. What this implies is the inner triangle is almost 16 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 10, 12, 13. It's almost 16 times the outer triangle. You can get into this whole mathematical thing, but you won't have time. But in the exam, if this kind of question is asked, put your writing pads, one sheet on the screen and just trace the inner and the outer triangle. If you just trace the outer triangle proportion and the inner triangle proportion, and in that thing, if you just extend the lines out, trace it using a pencil, okay? Put a sheet on the screen and trace it using the pencil. And if you just extend the lines that I've drawn, the way I've drawn here, you will actually gauge the answer, which is 16. Is this clear? Any doubts, any questions? I'm not open the chat box. Let me check it. Okay. We'll go to the next one. The figure below shows the area of the largest hexagon. You're given the area of the larger hexagon. to be 720 units. You have to find the area of the shaded portion. In this case, it's just nothing, and it's not it's not that difficult exercise. It's an exercise in decoding the geometry, multiples. So how many multiples of gray area is the hexagon, the larger hexagon made up of? Once you find that, you will be able to get it. So how do we do that? We'll break it up based on the dotted lines that are provided. So the gray part is made up of four such small triangles. Now, if I extend, if I draw let me use a different color, it's easier for you. If I draw this line, and if I draw this, I'm just taking the blue line, okay, right now. If I take this triangle, what I will find is how many such the red color triangles, which I drew earlier, how many such red color triangles make up the blue color triangle. That's all I have to find. So in this case, one second, this triangle, the green triangle, if you observe, the green triangle is made up of the small triangles. The green triangle is made up of four of small triangles, okay? Which means that when I draw this triangle here, the blue triangle is made up of four such green triangles. If you observe very carefully, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And within this green triangle, there are four smaller triangles which are there. So what I will do is, if the area of the gray part, and if you observe carefully, the area of the gray part is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4 such small triangles. So if I assume area of gray part is A, which means area of blue triangle will be equal to 4A. Why? Because this green triangle which I saw earlier is made up of 1, 2, 3, and 4 parts of the smaller triangles, which is also equal to the which the gray part is also equal to, same. Okay. So blue part is made up of four such smaller triangles, which blue triangle is made up of four such bigger triangles, or the four times the area of the gray part. Now I need to find how much is in what proportion is the blue triangle equal to the larger hexagon. The blue triangle, 6 such blue triangles will make up the larger hexagon. So, sorry. Area of hexagon is equal to 6 multiplied by 4A. 4A is the area of the blue triangle, and 6 is 6 parts of such blue triangles make up the whole bigger hexagon. So area of hexagon, I know 720 is equal to 24A. So the required area will come to 30 units. So the area of the gray part is 30 units. Any doubts, any questions? Okay. A tetrahedron of side 18 units and a cone with a base 10 units are cutting through the sphere. Count the total number of surfaces in the resultant sphere. Now, in this case, all I need to do is decode the geometry of the intersection. So all I'm going to do is just draw that geometry, okay? Because sphere ka bahar ka area will be 1. Now I just need to find, because of the drilling part, how many more surfaces are generated besides the one surface of the outer part. So in this case, when a tetrahedron is running through and through, what I get is a triangular base. All I get is a triangular base. So this kind of a triangular base I will be getting. Within this triangular base, there's another cone also running through and through. Its diameter is 10 और इसका जो side dimension है, that is 18. When a 10 diameter cone is drilling through and through, it will form a hole like this and which will pass through. यहाँ पे भी hole आएगा. So it is not breaking the surface of the prism. It is in fact ये वाला side का surface आप देखोगे तो in elevation it will look like a rectangle and a circle in between, which is going through and through. And this is that triangular prism. और ये सर्कल थ्रू एंड थ्रू आपका जाएगा यहाँ से. So the number of surfaces which are generated by the drilling part will be the three edges of the prism and then one hole. ये वाले cylinder drill की वजह से there will be one more surface getting added to it. So that makes it 4 and then plus one surface 5. Oh, sorry. 1 second. Oh, no. Sorry. One surface plus 3 surface plus यहाँ पे ये वाला जो ड्रिल वाला पार्ट होगा ना, that drill वाला part will actually go through and through ऐसे. So इसका जो आपका I mean sorry, this 1 second. This won't look like this. This will look actually like this. ये आपका ड्रिल किया हुआ सरफेस होगा. यहाँ से there will be a tunnel which will come out here. और फिर इसके opposite side से there will be a tunnel which will go out like this. So the total number of surface will be 3 of the tetrahedron, one surface on one side, one surface on the other side. So one outer surface of the sphere plus 3 surface of the triangular, of the tetrahedron because of the tetrahedron plus 2 surface because of the cone which is drilling, which will be equal to 6. Any doubts, any questions? What I have drawn here is the vacuum. ये जो दिखा है ना, this is a vacuum, this is the vacuum. So ये vacuum में the sphere, like in this direction when I'm sketching it, it will actually look something like this, the tunnel, I mean. So this is the vacuum which will be generating the surfaces inside the sphere. Okay, we'll move to the next one. Tim cycled from his house to his, 1 second. Tim cycled from his house to his friend John's house, and then from Tim's school, and then to his school, Tim's school. So we'll just make a quick diagram here. It's not required, but we'll still make a quick diagram here. This is Tim's house. This is John's house. And this is the school. The average speed of during the entire journey, I'll say average speed as S, is equal to 26 kilometer per hour. Because in this case, units are given in kilometer per hour, so I won't convert it, okay? I know at the end I have to find it in kilometer per hour, so I'll keep it as it is, 26 kilometer per hour. If it is if you are required to convert it to meter per second, you multiply this by 5 by 18. If you have to convert it into meter per second, you say 26 into 5 by 18 meter per second. This is the conversion ratio. Okay, but we don't need to do this. The distance from John's house to Tim's school. So if I say distance from Tim's house to John's school is A, and distance from John's house to Tim's school is B. Yeah, let's write this. The distance from John's house to Tim's school is, so B is equal to 0.3 A. Another thing which are given is about speed. Um, this is distance. Tim's speed from John's house to Tim's school, which is SB. Speed, I'm writing SB from John's house to Tim's school, is equal to twice Tim's speed from Tim's house to John's school, twice of SA. This is another equation. Two equations are given such that. So, what you have to find is the average speed from John's house to Tim's school. We have to find SB here in this case. In order to find SB, we'll take up the use of time. So, the total time taken will be equal to time taken TA from Tim's house to John's school plus time taken TB from John's house to Tim's school. So time is distance upon speed. So distance between Tim's house and John's house is, so total distance I'll write first. So total distance is A plus B upon S, which is average speed, is equal to A upon SA plus B upon SB. So far, is it clear, this much part? Anybody has any doubts in this? Okay. So A plus B is the total distance and S is, I know the value of I know the value of S, which is equal to 26 kilometer per hour, which is given here, which is equal to A, I will keep it as it is. SA value also I'll keep it as it is. I'll replace this value. So B is 0.3 A upon SB is 2SA. So A plus 0.3 A upon 26 is equal to, here also I will replace value of B, 2A plus 0.3 A upon 2 SA. So this will be equal to 1.3 A, 2.3 A upon 2 SA. Sorry, this is upon 26. So A will cancel here like this. 2 will cancel here, 13. 10. So SA will be equal to 23 kilometer per hour. I know the value of SA. I'm interested in finding the value of SB. SB will be 2 times SA, which is 2 multiplied by 23, 46 kilometer per hour. Any doubts, any questions? Okay. Image shows the profile of a blade which is designed to turn a wooden block. It is rotating along the axis PQ. Calculate the volume of the turned wooden block between P and Q. Consider the value of pi to be 27. In this case, because of the turning, the block will actually look something like this. The formed block will actually look something like this. So this is a hemisphere, and then there will be a cone here. The new formed wooden block will actually look something like this. which is formed by this kind of a blade turning table. This is composed of a hemisphere and a cone. So in this case, all I need to find is the volume of hemisphere and the volume of cone. Volume of hemisphere is equal to 2 by 3 pi r cube, and volume of cone is equal to 1 by 3 pi r square h. H is the height of the cone. ये वाला जो value है, that is h. So I'll go with the hemisphere first. VH, I'll say VH is equal to 2 by 3 into 22 by 7 pi into r cube. R, well, what is the value of r for the hemisphere? It is 2 units, is the radius. Multiply by 2 cube. So this will be equal to 21, because I don't need to cut anything. (352/21), and VC will be equal to 1 by 3 pi r square h, which is equal to 1 by 3 into 22/7 into r is 1 unit. So 1 square into h is 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 units. So it comes to 22 into 4, 88/21. I just need to add both of them together. So the total volume will be of the new object will be VH plus VC, which is equal to 352/21 plus 88/21, which comes to 440. Approximately, which equals to 20.9 something. So approximately 21 units. Let me write it. So the volume, the required volume that we are looking at is 21. Any doubts, any questions? What a turntable is? It's basically there's a blade of a weird form. Like this is a blade which is given, and a block is placed on the blade, and it will, based on the form of the blade, it will create a 3D form along the vertical axis. So this is the blade which will carve out. So this is the blade which the object will carve out. That's, or wo along the vertical axis, it will generate that form. Okay, move to the next. A blue colored liquid is used completely to make a star-shaped jelly using the mold shown on the right. What is the value of x in centimeters, which is the width, which is the size or length of one of the sides? Ignore the wall thickness of the mold. Consider the value of pi to be 22/7. What I'm given here is the diameter of the cylinder and the height of the cylinder. The area of the, or rather I would put it that way, the volume of the blue liquid. Yeah, let me write it here. Is equal to pi r square h. Sorry. which is equal to 22 by 7. R is 6 multiplied by H is 6.6. Or what is it given? 3.8 root 3, I think it's given, but whatever. So this comes to 746.7 approximately centimeter cube. Now I have received, I don't need to worry, but I have received the total volume of the blue liquid. This volume is going to be poured in the star-shaped cube. So the surface area of star will be equal to volume of liquid upon height of the star-shaped mold, which will give me the surface area. So this will be equal to 746, sorry, 746.7 upon 4 centimeter by 4, approximately equal to 186.68. Chalo. So I have received the surface area. Now I know that this is the surface area. I know this square, this star is made up of 1, 2, 3, 12 such 12 of these equilateral triangle. I just draw the geometry. So that star is made up of a geometry like this. Which means that there will be 12 such triangles which the surface area of the star is made up of. You can count it, okay? In this case, I am interested in finding the length. In order to find the length of the area, I know that 186.68, which is the surface area of the star, is made up of 12 such equilateral triangles. So I will find area of one equilateral triangle, which is 186.68 upon 12, which is equal to 15.55. This is not what we are looking for. We have to find the length of the equilateral triangle. So I will again follow the area. Area of equilateral triangle can also be, which is 15.55. It can also be written as root 3 by 4 x square if x is the side of the equilateral triangle. Therefore, x square will be equal to multiply by 4 divided by, okay, so it comes to approximately 5.99. Or it can also be written as 6 either. Any doubts, any questions in this? Here we are using volume of cylinder, formula pi r square h. We are using this formula, surface area of a star, which is volume of liquid upon h. We are also using the area of equilateral triangle formula. The area is equal to root 3 by 4 x square. Okay, Anshi. So in this case, this blue liquid is completely filling the star-shaped mold which is given. First, I need to find the volume of the blue liquid. The volume of the blue liquid will be is actually the volume of the cylinder, the blue cylinder that we see, not the whole cylinder, but the blue cylinder. The volume of the blue liquid will be pi r square h, which is the air volume of the cylinder. Pi is 22, r is 6, this is 6, r is 6 centimeters, and 6.6 is the height which is given here. So pi r square h may we replace all these values, we find the volume of the blue liquid. Once we find the volume of the blue liquid, this blue liquid is going to be filling the whole mold with a height of 4 centimeter, which is given. Now, I don't know the surface area of the star-shaped mold. In order to find the surface area of the star-shaped mold, I divide the total volume of liquid upon the height of the mold, which will give me the area. So just the surface area of the star. So surface area of star is volume of liquid, blue liquid, which is 746.7 upon H, the height of this height of the mold, which is 4 centimeters. The 746.7 divided by 4, which will approximately equal to 186.68. After that, I found out that this surface, the total area of the star is made up of 12 such equilateral triangles. So in order to find the area of one equilateral triangle, I will divide it by 12. So area of one equilateral triangle is 186.68 divided by 12, which is approximately 15.55, which is area of this one triangle, this. ये वाला जो एक triangle है, which will give me the area of one triangle. But I've still not found the side. In order to find the side, I will use the area of equilateral triangle, which is root 3 by 4 a square or root 3 by 4 x square if x is the side of the equilateral triangle. I'll use this formula, and through this formula I will find what is the value of this, not x square, this is x, so the value of x to be approximately 5.99, which is 6. Any doubts, any questions? Anshi? Okay. Move to the next one. A triangular pyramid with equal sides can be flipped on its edges without slipping or sliding as shown in the figure. What is the minimum number of flips needed for the pyramid to reach to the finish line? In this case, this pyramid, in the first flip will actually be this one second. This is what the pyramid will become after the first flip. In the second flip, it will then move to this distance, which means this pyramid is taking 2 flips to cover x distance. What is x distance? This distance is x distance. In order to cover x distance, this pyramid is taking 2 flips. So it's a triangular pyramid with equal sides. So that triangle pyramid will actually look something like this. So here, this is 30, 30, 15 and 15. If I drop a vertical, this will divide it into 2 parts, 15, 15, 30, 30. What I am interested in finding this x value, which is the vertical, which is this x value, which I have shown here. We'll use Pythagoras theorem for this. So x square will be equal to 30 square plus 30 square minus 15 square, which is equal to 900 minus 225. So x will be equal to X square will be equal to 675 so X value will be approximately 25.98 approximately. Post this, the number of flips to reach 135 is, so I know that I need 2 flips to cover X distance. This X distance is 25.98. The total thing from starting point to the finish line is 135 units. The total length which I need to cover is 135 units. So the total number of flips will be equal to 2 flips because I need to do two flips. One flip this way and then another flip this way. 1 and 2. So 2 flips multiply by 135, which is the total distance covered upon X units, which is equal to 2 multiplied by 135 upon 25.98. It comes to roughly 10.39 or 10.4. So the total number of flips that the person has to do is, 11. Any doubts, any questions? Because it's 10.4. That's why. At 10, after doing 10 flips, it won't have reached across the finish line yet. It will still need to do one more flip to cross the finish line, which will be the 11th flip. Any doubts, any questions? Okay. Imagine that you are traveling in a passenger train with 22 coaches depicted by the black curved line. You are sitting on a window seat in the 19th coach. At a given instant of the time when the train is heading northwards, select the option which will allow you to see the engine in the front clearly. In this case, I'm sitting at the P position. P position is on the right side. So in this case, if my orientation of engine is here and I'm sitting on this side, I won't be able to see the front part. In this case, if I am oriented like this and I'm sitting on this part, I won't be able to see this part because it will be hidden by this coach. In this case, if I'm oriented along this axis, I'm looking here, I will be able to see the front part easily. And in the other case, when I'm located here, I'm looking here on from this side, I won't be able to see the front part because I will be looking at the other part. So C is the one where I will be able to see the front part of the engine. C is the position. Any doubts, any questions? Okay. 4 keyboard layouts are designed to enter text on touchscreen mobile phones. Which of these layout has the shortest travel finger distance for entering in English language? Assume the mobile is held vertically in a left hand and a right hand person presses the key using only the index finger of the hand. In this case, all you need to do is start marking where the vowels are happening. So, the easiest thing to do is spot the vowels in this case. Vowels are the ones which everybody uses the maximum. It's E here. Yeah. U is, yeah. Once you have spotted the vowel, you will have to make sure that which is the keyboard with the nearest, which is nearest to the space and the vowels, where the organization of vowels and the space are in close proximity. That is happening on only one option, which is option B. Henceforth, I'll choose that. Any doubts, any questions? If this kind of question is asked, go for locating the vowels first. Once you have done that, locate how the vowels are organized around the space or around the enter. In this case, space is given, so I will locate it around the space part here. And the closest proximity of vowels is happening in B, otherwise everywhere it's far away. So B will be the correct one. In keyboard related question, look for vowels or look for in some cases the matra. I think we saw this question last session or the first session, I don't remember, where there were two different keyboards and you were supposed to get in Hindi and you were supposed to find the matra. So there also we look at the proximity from the center, from the enter option. Any doubts, any questions? Okay. Which option, when folded, will result in the solid shown below? In this case, if you observe the figure very carefully, when I open it up, there will be a square here. Sorry. There will be another square here. There will be a triangle on one side, and then there will be another triangle on the other side. What it means is one triangle will be surrounded by, between two triangles, there will be this kind of a combination with three such squares surrounding it. The option where it is happening, where you have a triangle and you have that tree kind of a trio surrounding it, happens here. One second. Happens here, where the trio will touch the triangle. It also happens, no, it does not have it. Yeah, it happens here between the two parts. But what happens here is, the issue with this option is, this two will be the two sides here which are shown. एक triangle के दो along edges. But what happens is this triangle, this square which is happening here, it does not have any space to joint anywhere because ये fold vertically हो जाएगा. So I'm not looking at an option where the three triad are not, in proximity. So because this square is also sharing an edge with the triangle here. So there is no possibility that I can fold it vertically. There is no cut here, which allow me to fold it vertically. So B, that way it's not possible. In case of option A, I'll tell you what is the issue. The issue is this one. You see this triangle and you see this triangle. In this geometry, never ever is a condition where one triangle shares an edge with two triangles. This is actually sharing an edge with two triangles, and here also with B also that same situation is happening. One triangle, second triangle, and the third triangle is, which will fixate here, is actually, so this triangle which is in the center, this is sharing its edge with two triangles. That is not happening in the geometry here. In the geometry here, one triangle will share an edge with another triangle on one side and then squares on the other side. On the other two sides, there will be squares. जैसे ये वाला triangle है, one side you have a square here, other side also you will have a square, which is this one. So it's actually not possible. Yeah. So A and B rejected. Between C and D, what I will start looking at the triad, of course, the three, 1, 2, 3 squares, the triangle, and also I will start looking at this juncture. If you observe this juncture has 1, 2, 3, 4 triangles and 2 such squares. So in this case, I will start searching for where that juncture is actually placed. In this case, if you observe this part, sorry, odd, this part. This is what is an issue. This will fold here. ये वाला भाग आपका यहाँ पे आएगा. And then this will, there is actually no space for this to go anywhere, this cube. Because, so when this folds here, this becomes vertical here on this side. ये वाला edge इसके पास यहाँ पे आएगा. When this edge comes here, ये वाला जो ये वाला बाजू वाला जो edge है, it actually comes here, and then this triangle will come here on that side, which is actually does not work with this kind of a geometry shown here, where the one point is connected with 4 triangles and 2 such squares. We don't have that situation anywhere in this case. In this case, this part is a little bit problematic. Versus if you observe this joins here, ये वाला जो edge है आपका और ये वाला जो edge है, after this joins here, this box comes here, this and this edge will join each other. So what happens is this point, which is here, will actually have 2 triangles, 1, 2, 4 triangles, a square on top, and then another square here. So the juncture that I'm looking at here is actually forming here, which is correct in correlation. C will be wrong and D will be the one which will be chosen. This is a little bit complex for you when you're in the exam and the clock is ticking. In this case, you may be able to eliminate A and B in the exam, but between C and D, you might take some time to think about how to go around it. In geometry, where 2 such shapes are involved, square and triangle, look for key nuances. In this case, the key nuance was 1 square, 3 triangles, three squares, and 1 triangle junction or 2 triangle junctions. So between 2 triangles, we get a square, we get 3 squares, or you may start with just looking at these 3 squares only in the first case. Post that, another nuance is of critical attribute is this, which is joining 4 triangles and 2 squares on top. I will start looking for that nuance and which will allow me to do it, but in the exam, you may not get time. So it is better to skip this question and come back when you have time for it. But that you do it in your notepad after that, but you have to note in your notepad that you have eliminated A and B. You just have to cross check between two options. If you come back saying, okay, let me check all the options again, you won't have time to solve this. Any doubts, any questions? Okay. Move the next one. Shown below are 4 sides of a rectangular device. If 3 such dice are thrown together, what is the probability of getting a sum of 4? In this case, again, like we have done similar kind of questions earlier. In this case, like we have done earlier, what we'll do is we'll list down all the possibilities. When I use this dice, 3 such dice, sorry. When I use 3 such dice, I get a sum of 4. I will list down all the possibilities. Here the numbers that you're looking at 0, 1, 2, and 3. Using these numbers, which are the combinations? The combinations are 1 plus 2 plus 1 to get 4. This is one combination. Another combination is 2 plus 2 plus 0 with 3 dices. A third combination would be 1 plus 3 plus 0. Right? So in this case, all I'm going to do is I'm just going to list down all these possibilities. Okay. Which are the various possibilities? So it will be 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 1, 1, 2, sorry. 1, it should be different. 1, it is 1, 1, 2. These are the possibilities for getting, for 1 to 1 possibility, this option 1 to 1. Now I'll go to the next one, 2 to 2. For that, there will be 2, 2, 0, 2, 0, 2, 0, 2, 2. Take. Then I will go to the last option, 1, 3, 0. 1, 3, 0, 1, 0, 3, 3, 1, 0, 3, 0, 1, 0, 1, 3, 0, 3, 1. These are all the possibilities through which we can get 4. After that, I'll just count the possibilities. So 3, 3, 6. 12 such possibilities total. The total possibilities, without considering that it should equal to sum of 4, the total possibilities will be equal to 4 multiplied by 4 multiplied by 4. Why 4? 4 multiplied by 4 multiplied by 4? Because one dice will have 4 options. Likewise, we have 4 such dices. So we have 3 such dices. So this is possible options for one dice, possible options for another dice, possible options for another dice. This will be equal to 64 total possibilities. So the probability is equal to 12, which are the possible options, upon 64, which is approximately 0.18. Approximately. It will come to 1875 something. You can write 18 or 19, whatever. Any doubts, any questions? Two trains of unequal length have speeds 50 and 60. When they travel in the opposite direction in a straight line track, they take 9 seconds to completely cross each other. When they travel in the same, okay, so let's start with this first. So we have to find in seconds, which means I will be converting this into meter per second. So train A and train B, one is 60 and one is 50. This will be equal to 60 multiplied by 5 by 18, which is equal to 50 by 3. For the next second part, it will be 50 into 5 by 18. 125 upon 9 meter per second. Okay, so we'll keep it as it is now. In the first scenario, when the trains are moving in the same direction, they take a time of 6 seconds. When objects move in the same direction, the distance will be, if the distance the distance will be totaled if a, for example, if a traverses x distance and b traverses y distance, the distance will be x plus y. Speed will be sa plus sb if sa is the speed of a and sb is the speed of b. Okay. So in this case, since the trains are moving in the they are moving in the opposite direction on a train. They travel in the opposite direction on on a single track. They take 9 seconds to completely cross each other. So, if distance travel is SA A plus B is the distance traveled, time taken is 9 seconds, and the speed will be 50 upon 3 plus 125 upon 9. So A plus B upon 9 will be equal to 150 plus 125 upon 9. It will go away. A plus B will be equal to 275. 275, this is in meters. Now I know if A is the length of one train, B is the length of other train, I know their total lengths will equal to 275. When they travel in the same direction, a person in the faster train sees the slower train for 18 seconds. So when they are moving in the same direction. Now in this case, the distance traveled will be the same. The distance traveled will be A plus B. Why A plus B? If this is train A and the person is sitting here, for example, this is the position where the person is sitting. This train B will not only have to cross its own direction, it will also have to completely cross the size of train A in order to move from this position to the other position, because it is also traversing around it. So, sorry, yeah, so distance, sorry, in this case, the speed will be negative, the distance will be B, okay? The distance will be just of B. So B, distance upon time taken is 18, is equal to speed. Speed is negative, so 50 divided by 3 minus 125 upon 9. B upon 18 is equal to, or it can be easier way out instead of writing it like this. Let it be 10 multiplied by 5 upon 18. Why did I write this? Is because 60 minus 50 is 10. I didn't wanted to go through that complicated multiplication. So I say 60 minus 50 is 10. This is 10 kilometer per hour. And I have to convert it to meter per second. I say 10 multiplied by 5 by 18. 18 will cut. So B will be equal to 50. I know the length of the slower train, which is 50. Now I have to find the length of the faster train, which is A will be equal to 275 minus 50, which is 225 meters. I know the length of A, which is 225. What would a person sitting in the slower train see? So now I have to develop a formula for A upon time taken, which we have to find. How much time, which is the time taken we have to find. Speed is 10 into 5 upon 18. I know the value of A, it is 225 upon time is equal to 10 multiplied by 5 upon 18. So T, which is time taken, will be equal to 36. So the time taken is 36 seconds. Any doubts? Any questions? Oh no, sorry, I miscalculated. This is 2 divided in 18, so 9 nines are 81 seconds, sorry. 81 seconds. Any doubts, any questions? This 9 will go here. Yeah, so 81 seconds. This is one part. This is the first part, this is second part, this is the third, and this is the fourth part. Okay. This is goat, this is lizard, this is tiger, and what is this equal to? So it's a very stupid logic, but the one logic which I applied was this. Frog, snail, cat, and spider. Whatever comes in the back, whatever comes as the last alphabet becomes the starting part. So यहाँ पे A L था जो यहाँ पे lizard बन जाएगा. T था which will come to tiger. Spider का R will come with some letter which starts with R. In the options, the only letter which starts with R is ram. So A will be the one. Any doubts? Any questions? Okay. The layout director of a newspaper was listening to a music loop PQRS. Subsequently, the director created layouts 1, 2, 3, 4 for music sections of the newspaper. Indicate the correct pair of music loop and the layout. In this case, the way I did it was 2. This is 1, 2. So 2 of same side, 1 of a different side, and then another 1 of a different side. This is 1, 1, 1. Sorry, this is 1. Sorry. 1, 2, 2, 1. 2, 3, 4. 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. Likewise, I will do that same exercise for these loops also. 2, 3, 6, 3, 4, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 4, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 2, 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 3, 2, 1, 2, 2, 2. In this case, once you have done this, you might have to start looking for the pairs of number along with these pairs getting repeated in this loop part. It is difficult to start with 1 and 2. Please note it is very difficult. Sorry, 1 and 3. 1 and 3 has least number of numbers, so it can fit anywhere. It is little bit difficult and it can get little bit tricky. We can start with 4 or 3. 4 has maximum number of 4 has maximum numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There are 6 numbers here with 4. So start with that. It's easier. So I will start looking for where exactly do I find 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 4. I'll find it here. 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 4. कितने part में? So what I'll relate is Q may be related with the 4 part here. So the option where Q is related to 4 happens only one, thankfully in this case. So it will be option C. It is also correct. In these kind of questions, if you are not able to find any logic, try this. I know it does not sound logical enough, but try this. You will eventually arrive at the correct answer. And that's what I did. I just correlated numbers with the number of times it is getting repeated, and I just correlated that with the loop which I was again getting the repetition numbers which I found in the music notes, and it somehow matched. Any doubts, any questions? Okay. Different views of the cross section of a fish toy is shown below. The points P and Q are connected in such a way that the fishtail waves, the green color gear and the green color the gray color gear and the green color part are joined together. The rod is free to move depending on how it is connected to the green part. Which of the option will work? In this case, A, B, and C, all option works. There is no problem. In case of D, the only issue happens because of this. Because ये वाला जो आपका juncture है, ये वाला, it will mismatch with this part. It will it will hit this part. So in this case, D is the only one which does not work, because if you see, like here, if from point P, if I draw that, ये वाला जो आपका junction है ना, वो यहाँ पे ऐसे hit होगा. This junction will actually hit here, which means it becomes a rigid junction. It's no more a flexible junction, and it won't allow for movement in case of D. So D is the only one which is not possible. A, B, and C would be possible in this case. Because B में वो नीचे की तरह जा रहा है, C. In case of B, it goes here. It goes here like this, and then it goes here. So there won't be any movement restriction with case of B. Even A, it's very straightforward. C is also very straightforward. There's no issue there. In case of D only, because of this point, it will hit the this weird member, and then it becomes a rigid member. Any doubts, any questions? Okay. A4 size paper is cut. A4 size paper is cut as shown below and folded across the dotted line such that it has eight faces. Yeah, 8 faces which are marked from P to W. It is okay. It is further folded as it is shown below. What will be the correct sequence of the pages? In this case, you don't need to go anywhere further. Just observe. Forget the whole sequence of folding, okay? First of all, forget this sequence. Itna part pehle ke first forget about it. Just look at this part and look at this part. We know that W is going in the front. When ये वाला जो fold है, when this happens, this is how it is going to look. W is in the front, V यहाँ पे आएगा, U यहाँ पे आएगा और T यहाँ पे आएगा. I'm just drawing this much, okay? I'm not worried what is happening here because वो अंदर की तरह जा रहा है. Once it is done, once you have done this, it will actually look something like this. W, V, U and T here. After this, ये नीचे की तरफ fold होगा. So W, there will be some letter here. ये नीचे की तरफ fold होगा ऐसे. This one will again fold on top of this. So ये यहाँ पे आएगा. So T comes here. यहाँ पे T आएगा और फिर ये वाला जो पार्ट है आपका वो इसके ऊपर फोल्ड होगा. So ये बॉक्स ऐसे आएगा. U will be facing, ये नीचे U आएगा और ऊपर की तरह आपका V आएगा. What it means is when I close this whole thing up and where W is coming in the front, at the last page, V will be happening. The only option where W is in the front and V is in the last is option C, which I will go for, option C. In this case, if you want, you can reconstruct this whole thing, but eventually you will arrive at that same option. You will arrive at this whole sequence. We are not interested in finding the whole sequence. If you observe the options very carefully, the front and the last letter are different in all the letters. So even if I decode the front and the last letter in this case, I will be able to find the answer. So it will be W and V in the front, at the back and W in the front, which is happening in option C. Any doubts, any questions? Okay. How many are left? 1 second. So in this case, what you're given is, you're given a 3D object and you're supposed to find how this will open up. One or more option is possible in this case. First of all, check the number of squares which are given. If I check the number of squares, A has 12, B has 13, and C has 13, and D also has 13, which means A is not possible because the number of squares in this figure will be 13. Just the squares, not the surfaces, okay? When I say squares, I mean these squares. Number of squares that will be there in this will be 13, which is happening in B, C, and D, so A is not possible. Between B, C, and D, if you observe the option D very carefully, this part will come here. ये part आपका यहाँ पे आएगा. उसके बाद ये वाला जो figure है, ये वाला box भी इसके ऊपर यहाँ पे overlap होगा. Which means after 13 a figure which I require here, D में दो यहाँ पे और even ये वाला यहाँ पे overlap होगा. There are two overlaps happening in D. So the total number of square boxes that D has will be 11. So D भी possible नहीं है उसके हिसाब से. So between B and C, they both are correct in this figure. Between B and C, actually, if you just calculate it, so this part will come here. Likewise, I will be able to fill this stepped part. ये वाला जो part है will fill here. This and this will come here and here. ये वाला जो पार्ट है वो ऊपर की तरफ जाएगा आपका. सो एक्चुअली इट इज फिटिंग इन वेरी वेल. ये वाला जो दो पार्ट है वो ऊपर का इसके साथ कनेक्ट हो जाएगा विद दिस पार्ट. दिस मीन these parts 1, 2 and 3. So you actually don't need to worry here. B and C both will be correct. There is, after you have found this, check for overlaps in these complex figures. After you have found the number of squares or number of shapes, all you have to do is find the possible overlaps. Are there any overlaps happening? If there are overlaps happening, then like how we saw in option D, then eliminate. Even in A, if you see, there's an overlap. ये यहाँ पे आएगा, ये यहाँ पे आएगा. ये दो पार्ट यहाँ पे ओवरलैप हो रहे हैं आपके, because this and this will overlap with these two. So A may be overlap हो रहा है. So A and D both are not possible. Any doubts, any questions? Okay. Of the options represented, correctly open up which correctly open up the surfaces. Okay. In this case, all I need to find is one thing is very clear, that this triangle is an equilateral triangle, because in all the options that triangle is an equilateral triangle in all the options A, B, C, D. So in the question figure, there will be equilateral triangle. There will be right angle triangles, such as two of those right angle triangles. There will be a square, because when I just look at the principles of parallelogram, ये भी 4 value होगा, इसका भी value 4 होगा. If this value is 4, this diagonal will be 5. ये 5 है तो ये भी 5 होगा, और ये वाला ऊपर आपका 4 होगा. What it means is, when I open this up, I will have a right angle triangle on one side. Yes, sorry. There will be a 5 by 4, 5 by 4 box happening on the other side. I will get a 3 by 4 happening here. I will get a right angle triangle on one side, and on one side I will get a 4 by 4. This is bigger, sorry, it should be smaller. This will be a 4 by 4 square. The place where I get at least one square, I'm getting actually at least one square of 4 dimensions. C में आपका 3 by 3 square है, D में 4 by 4 square है, which is possible. B में भी 3 by 3 square है, so B is not possible. C is also not possible. A में भी 4 by 4 square है, ये वाला. This is the shorter dimension. So A and D are the one which will be correct in this case. Any doubts, any questions? In this case, all you have to do is, there's a reason why these dimensions are given to you in this question, because you will have to find out which are the rectangles and which are the possible squares that I get in the surfaces. Like in this case, we figured out this is not a parallelogram, not even a rectangle, but this is actually a square, which is a 4 by 4. It's not a 3 by 3 square. In case of C, the shorter side was becoming a square. ये in case of B and C, ये shorter side square बन रहा था, so it's not possible. Versus it's the 4, it's the middle length, which is 4 length, which is becoming a square. Any doubts, any questions? Right angle triangle I came across because it is given here. In the options, all are right angle triangles. That's why I said it's supposed to be a right angle triangle. It's not derived from the question figure, it's derived from the options. Is it clear, Trisha? Trisha, are you clear? Or you have doubts?
No, ma'am, it's clear.
Okay. Any doubts, any questions? Okay. If the following operations were performed in the given sequence on the figure option shown below, what would be the resultant figure to be? What would be the resultant figure to be? Okay. Rotate the figure clockwise. In this case, I will try doing this exercise. A unique shape first. Okay, let's try with a hexagon. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Chalo, let's try with the pentagon. Because this is similar to a pentagon, okay? A pentagon is first given. Because this shape is very similar to a pentagon, that's why I'm taking a pentagon, okay? Rotate the figure clockwise 90 degrees. You have to rotate the figure clockwise 90 degree. Flip along the vertical axis passing through the center. Flip along the vertical axis passing through the center. Okay, so this one. Chalo, even if I take this. Flip along the horizontal axis, passing through the center. Flip along the horizontal. So this viewpoint here. So this I have flip it along the horizontal axis. Okay. Just 1 second. If I flip along the vertical axis here, it's passing through the center, it will come on this side. Look something like this. So from this position, it's actually rotated on the other side. So this top will happen, which is happening here, needs to happen on that side. So option B is the one. Yeah. So in this case, all I did was simplified the diagram to be a regular pentagon. I first rotated 90 degree, which is this one. This is the second operation performed along the vertical axis passing through the center, flipping along vertical axis. And this is the third option, flipping along the horizontal axis. Once I have done this, I know that this top, which was happening here in the original figure, is rotated 90 degree on the other side here, anti-clockwise. So in the question, in the option figure, I will just look for that option where that rotation has shifted. So that rotation has shifted the way I see it in option C and option B here. With case of option D, that point comes here. With case of option C, it comes somewhere here. With case of option A, it's actually the same. Option A and the question figure are the same. So I'm looking for this configuration and henceforth option B. Question again. Okay. So in this case, what I did was I'm given this weird shape. I simplified that weird shape into a pentagon first. That's my first thing. I will simplify this into a pentagon. When I simplify this into a pentagon, what I find is I will perform all these questions, all these operations on the pentagon. If you want, you can do that also, which is this part if you want to, otherwise it's okay. Rotate along the clockwise direction. Then this is the first, this is the second one. Flip horizontally along the vertical axis. A vertical axis which passes through the center. Sorry, flip along the vertical axis which passes through the center. When I flip it, it again becomes the same figure. Flip it along the horizontal axis. This is the horizontal axis here, which passes through the center. You can also take up this as the vertical axis and this as the horizontal axis. You will get the same thing. Okay. So it will come somewhere here. Why this helped me here is because I need to find that part here. That's why. So when I know that this becomes this, which means that the simpler, instead of performing 3 rotations like this or 3 operations like this, if I rotate it anti-clockwise, 90 degree, I will eventually find the answer figure which I'm looking at. So once I have arrived this, which means that I will just draw a simplified version of all these and check where is that cut happening, in which direction. You can see that cut happening very clearly in option B. So that will be the one which I will choose. Is it clear, Kavya? Any doubts? Okay. Figure shows a solid formed by union of 2 solids. First is an elliptical cylinder of a shorter width 4 inches, larger width 5 inches, height 11 inches. Okay. 5 by 4 by 11. And the second is a cuboid of 8 by 6 by 5. 8 by 6 by 5. ये वाला 5. This is the cuboid. The center of the extruded ellipse is aligned with the edge of the cuboid if the solid is cut along the cut plane, which is shown below. What does the resultant face look like? In this case, if you observe very carefully the options which are provided to you, the circle is different. So circle will be my first thing to crack, which means that I will look at कि यहाँ का ये वाला जो cross section है आपका, this cross section, what will that cross section be? I know the horizontal dimension is 4. I know the vertical cross section, sorry, not the vertical, sorry, the plan which is coming about is 5. Plan May it is coming about is 5, which means top width is 5 of the cross section. Or I am interested in finding what will be that angle look like? What will be, how much will this extend? To what extent will this extend? It can definitely not be 4. ये वाला जो आपका total dimension है, it can definitely not be 4, this dimension. Visually, if you compare this dimension with 6, this and this, it is less than 6. Visually, if you compare it with 5, it is similar to what 5 dimension looks like. ये dimension, so this dimension has to be between 4 and 6. It can go closer to 5, which means कि ये square बनेगा आपका ये plane, and there will be a perfect circle formed in the center. The option where a perfect circle is formed is option A, which is the correct one. This is you can solve it, this question, you can solve it without, how should I put it, with these complex calculation also if you want, but visually also it is possible. Like if I see this diagram, the A5 and this 5 is more closer. So I might, and 6 is a little bit bigger. So it in this case, it has to be a 5 by, it could be a 5 by 4 and a 4.7. It could be a 5 by 4.5 also. But it cannot be 5 and sorry, it cannot be 5 by 4.5, but it can be 5 by 5.1 or 5 by 5.2 also. But it will be more closer to a perfect circle. And if you observe B, C, and D options, they are very much elongated. They're very much quite elongated along either the horizontal axis, like in case of C, or the vertical axis. So henceforth, I will go with the option A. Any doubts, any questions? We'll just take couple of more and then we'll break out. I know you might be tired, but let's just quickly finish it. It won't take much time, okay? Just couple of ones and then we'll end this. Or is it done? 1 second. Oh, sorry. This was the last one. Sorry. Yeah. Does anybody has any doubt besides this? Anybody who has any other doubts besides this? Okay. Okay.